All right, back with part two. This is talking about like famous, well-known sightings of like cigar-shaped or cylindrical UFOs from New Zealand. So some really interesting sightings here from 1952 to 2014. So this is part two, and we're going to start with the 1971 sighting here. So an airport, we'll do the 1971, 77, and maybe the 78 one. Let's do this one first. Airport employee photographs UFO. So there's a photograph here. So yeah. Oh, that is weird. Okay. On June 14th of 1971, an airport employee took a photograph of a large light aircraft. No, took a photograph of a light aircraft at Auckland Airport, North Island. He did not notice or hear anything unusual at the time, but when the film was developed, he saw there was a cigar-shaped object in the distant background, which left a dark trail behind it. So I'm looking at this photo here. There is a photo on it, yeah. The employee sent the photograph to retired Captain Bruce Cathy. Now remember, Bruce Cathy was also, I mentioned him in part one. He saw that that USO, the unidentified submerged object, in 1965. So he confirmed nothing unusual had appeared on Auckland Airport ATC radar that day. I think that's really strange. Wasn't picked up on radar. The employee had 4 photographic enlargements made showing the object and also drew sketches of the object using a grid enlargement. The cigar-shaped object appears to have a pointed nose and rounded end, and the body of the object has distinct alternating bands of dark and light. Now, in 2005, the image was examined by a photographic data analyst who commented it reminded him of the renowned ghost rockets of 1946. I don't believe I've looked into that, the ghost rockets thing. He stated, assuming a shutter speed of 1/25 of a second, this thing moved its length in much less than that. Oh, wow. Much less than 1/25 in a second. Oh, my God. Of a second. If one assumes... That's really fast. If one assumes the object is the striped rocket, it moved about 10 times its own length, in fact. If the fuzzy widening line at the upper left is a contrail, then that contrail widened very rapidly. If it is a real object out there, we don't know how far away or how big. One can only speculate. If we assumed a rocket 20 feet long, then it traveled at 200 feet in 1/25 of a second. or 17,000 miles an hour. I can't even imagine speed like that. At that speed, if it were low in the atmosphere, it would be glowing. If it were a man-made earthly object or meteor. There is a very dim possibility that it is a meteor or a man-made rocket, but they would have made a noise. The close-up images bear a resemblance to the object in the 1952 sighting that I described in part 1. Including the slight blip on the nose and the tail end obscured by a smoky trail or vapor. Okay, let me look at this again here. So, that is really strange. It is definitely something. It's very long, it's very narrow. And it has a trail. It does have a trail, but like, and it gets darker and darker the further you go to the front of it. It's going down, in a diagonally right descent here. I don't know what that could have been, and how come there wasn't any noise or splash or something, or but it does have like a some kind of something. It's so weird. Does have like a slight blip on the nose of it. All right, so now we're going to check out the 1977 Piper Cherokee pilot observes a UFO in close proximity to, I guess this is a plane, the, let's see, or F-27 Fokker Friendship. I don't know what that is. It's a transport aircraft. Okay. This is weird looking, yeah. This sighting occurred on July 1st of 1977 at 2:10 p.m. near, let's say, Temuka, South Canterbury, in the South Island, and lasted around 15 seconds. The pilot, M. Aronson, was on a short flight in the vicinity of Temuka when he observed a UFO. He was aware of an F-27 transport aircraft in the area inbound to Christchurch Airport, and had heard the local air traffic service advise the F-21 that a Cessna 180 was northbound in the area. Now, the pilot was at an altitude of approximately 7,500 feet. And he could see the F-27 on long finals about 5 miles northwest of Temuka, at an estimated altitude of 2,000 feet, about 1 mile west of his position. Okay, so let's see what happens here. His attention was captured by what he at first thought to be the C-180 in close proximity to the F-27. Okay. However, upon closer observation, he realized the F-27 was being followed by a UFO that was positioned to the starboard rear and slightly above the F-27 at a distance of approximately 400 meters. It was maintaining position at an estimated altitude of 1,800 to 2,000 feet. There is like a drawing of it. I don't think that's a real picture. I don't think it is. I guess we'll find out. Doesn't look like a drawing. What is this? It's like a... Hold on a second. Pilot Aronson observed a black cigar-shaped... Okay, so... A black cigar-shaped object about 10 to 15 meters in length. That is really weird. Almost looks saucer-like, but I can see that it could be like cigar-shaped too. Just going by that picture on it. It was enveloped in a heat haze, shimmering air, and shimmering air. That's just what it looked like. It was like enveloped by something that looked like a heat haze, and the air was shimmering. And Aronson estimated that it was traveling at approximately 110 kilometers. How much of that is miles per hour? 110 kilometers. Then later to an unknown speed, so it must have sped up even more. Upon realizing the object was not a conventional aircraft, the pilot turned his aircraft towards the object, and commenced a dive to intercept it. Man, I don't know if I would have done that. Reaching maximum airframe speed in doing so. At this point, the UFO stopped dead and hovered for approximately 2 seconds before reversing its course when the pilot began his dive to investigate. What the heck? It then accelerated sharply away with a rate of climb and acceleration far in excess of anything the pilot had seen before. And the object was lost to sight in about 5 seconds. Okay, well, that was definitely not a plane. It's like this small, it's like this small, like cigar-shaped craft looking thing. Almost like a disc, but it's more, I guess it is more cigar-shaped. What in the heck? That is really weird. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. How is this not an alien craft? This is 1977. We didn't have anything like that. That's so far advanced. I don't even think we don't even have anything like that now. But not in 1977. I know that. 10 to 15 meters in length. How much would that be in feet? Let me say 10 meters to feet. Let's see how big that might be. Like 32 feet, or 33 feet in length. 15 would be like about 50 feet. a little less than 50. That's pretty big, actually. All right. So that's really interesting. That will end part two of this. This site, that's one of the best sightings for sure. This one and the 1952 one I thought were the best ones so far. The 1952 ones in part one. But this 1977 sighting, that is crazy. So it was like um, following this F-27 plane, and it was slightly above it. It was about 400 meters above the F-27. Huh. And was maintaining position. That is a very bizarre sighting, an incident. So yeah, let me know what you think about these two incidents here. I'll probably do part 3 here soon as well to finish up. These are really interesting. Let me know your thoughts and comments below about these incidents here in part 2, and I'll be back with part 3 here soon.